Hey, Bruce here with 5 Minute Handyman. I am painting a room and I want to show you how I cut in along the ceiling. So let me show you some of the hardware and we'll talk about it. What I like to use as far as brushes is a Chinex brush, and the reason I like these is because they clean up very nicely. The paint doesn't stick too well to the Chinex bristles, and so they clean up very nice. This particular one is a 2-inch wide. I usually use 2.5-inch on the ceiling to cut, but I figured I'd try this one. This one's a little bit narrower than the 2.5-inch brush that I would use, but we'll use this one. Then I've got a little holder for some paint, so I don't have to keep going up and down off of the ladder. And so you can see that the section that I've done so far, we get a nice straight line here, and the way to do that is when we're painting, we don't want to use wrist motion, or we don't want to use elbow motion. What I want to do is I want to hold the brush there, and I want to twist my body, and by doing that, I'm able to keep a nice straight line. Now, against a ceiling like this that has popcorn on it, we have to be careful not to go too high into the corner, otherwise we'll have ups and downs from it hitting the popcorn. If there's some popcorn that is down on the side of the wall, if whoever put the popcorn on the ceiling didn't mask it well, then what we have to do is take a putty knife and just go along the edge with the knife to clear it off, so we have a nice smooth surface on the wall. So let me show you how this works. And what I like to do is when I load my brush, I'll load just about 1 inch, and I don't like to do a wipe. I like to do a tap on both sides, and what that does is that pushes the paint into the bristles so that it's loaded, so I can do maybe 5 or 6 inches at a time. And so what I'm going to do here is I'll just bring it up to where I ended, and just keep this going straight across. We don't want to rush through this, because if we do, then it's going to start leaving some spaces in the paint when it goes onto the wall. And then so what I'll do, because now I still have paint in here, I'm going to go up and down with my brush, and that's going to push the paint off the bristles onto the wall. And then I'll turn it to the other side of the brush. And then if I have some spots here that are not fully covered, then what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of a wiggle up to it, up to the edge. And then I want to go ahead and fan this out. If I fan it out, I won't have a hard line when I do my rolling on the wall. And so just feather this out a little bit, load the brush up again, and we're going to come in and go up to the last section that I just completed. And again, notice my wrist is firm, my elbow is firm, and on this particular section I just was sliding my body over so I get a nice straight line. Okay, and then we're going to feather this down once we get coverage. Okay, and by doing this, I don't have to roll the wall today if it's too close to the end of the day. I can come back tomorrow, and when I come up with my roller, it'll come up into the solid area, and I'll get a nice edge, and you won't see any kind of a seam. And then in the corner, I'm just going to get some paint on the brush and just go back and forth in the corner, so that when I roll here, it's going to give it nice coverage. And again, I'm going to come in and just feather this out, both sides, to make sure that I have a nice transition. So I've got to come up into the corner a little bit higher. So just come across, straighten it out, and then over here, we want to make sure we always have enough paint. And again, I don't like to wipe, I like to tap on both sides and it gives me good coverage in the brush. So we'll come up here, and then I'm just leaning backwards now in order to get my line straight. I'll get the paint from the side of the brush, feather this out, and basically that's the process that I use when I'm cutting in on a ceiling. If I'm cutting in on a door or window frame, it's basically the same thing. I'm going to load up my brush, I'm going to come in, and I'm going to just move my body in order to get a nice straight line. So that's the process I use, and if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, like it, and let me know if there's any other things you'd like me to show you how to do. Painting or tiling or any other construction stuff. Thanks for watching. This is Bruce with the 5 Minute Handyman.